So, I just wanted to ask whether, so I see self-deception within me, in the mind, and I just remembered Shankaracharya's statement, one of his line from uh, Bhajagovindam, where he says, Nischala Tattve Jivan Muktihi. So, I see that inner division, because there is a self, there is a self-deception. Now, uh, how to be true to myself? How to be honest and sincere always within wherever I am, in the sense of the journey which is unfolding, not as the absolute truth, but just right now. How do I know? Because when you said this thing that the matter of the fact is that we are not yet liberated, at that moment this thought came. So, okay, I do not feel liberated. Now, at this moment, how do I actually go in that way, whichever, but how do I be true?
Do the best you can. This question is coming from a point of limitation. This question assumes choices. And we cannot force the one who is seeing choices to admit choicelessness. From the point where you are asking this question, you are obviously seeing a lot of choices, and therefore you are asking, how do I do this and how do I be honest? So as long as you are seeing choices, go for the best choice. What is the best choice? That which according to your own best judgment is the best choice. That appears simple but is not. Most often we do not even have the integrity to do what is even relatively best. The absolutely best is obviously beyond our grasp. But even that which is relatively best in our own personal estimate is often left unattempted by us. Because we fail to muster the courage. Because we fail to be true to ourselves, knowing fully well that of the limited options available to you, X happens to be the best option. You still do not choose X. Is that not the story of our lives? And I'm not saying that X is the absolutely best option. The absolutely best is hardly an option. So, when you see options, do not ask which option is absolutely greatest. That is not given to you to ask. Once you see that out of the 5 choices available to you, X happens to be the relatively best choice, throw yourself totally into it. Throw yourselves totally into X. Back X fully. Forget the remaining 4.
To go from having choices to a choicelessness state, is that an event or it's a process?
Process. We are people of time, and in time there are processes. When the effect of a process is suddenly perceived, then you call it a result. A result is just a deception of perception. Results don't really exist. only processes exist for us because we are people of time. In time, there are only processes. In the process, coexists the result. But given our limited senses, we cannot see the result as coexistent with the process. To us, the result suddenly appears. And then we say, wow, the result is here now. The result isn't here now. The result was always there. It was running parallelly with the process. It's just that our limited faculties didn't allow to perceive the result at every point in time. So we feel that it has just suddenly come up. Processes.
Acharya ji, the process which you are talking about, it will take how much time? In this lifetime it is possible, or it will take many of them?
It depends on your scale of time. Time is highly personal, you see. So which time are you talking of? It takes just 1 second. But your 1 second is not the same as her 1 second. By the clock, a second is a second. Internally, a second can be a century. Time is a measure of change. Things change, time moves. If you allow things to change rapidly, things just happen. If you allow things to remain arrested, they don't happen. You are absolving yourself clear of all responsibilities. Your question is pretending as if you have no role in your liberation. As if liberation is a process independent of you. You are asking how much time will liberation take? It's almost like asking at what temperature would water boil? You would be liberated when you decide to be liberated. It's not like the boiling point of water, which is fixed and absolute. You know of that story, right? It probably relates to the life of
in one of Acharya in one of your sessions, you talked about how we should walk on the path of intelligence rather than walking on the path of memory. But isn't our intelligence limited by and dependent on memory? So my question is, how can we be more than our history, not limited by it?
The intelligence that I would have probably talked of in that excerpt or article is not knowledge. Knowledge depends on history and memory and exposure and experience. And intelligence is that which is enabling you to relate to me right now. Knowledge is that which is enabling you right now to comprehend my words. If you do not have knowledge of English language, you cannot comprehend what I am saying. But mere comprehension of my words will not help you understand me. That which is helping you relate to me, understand me, is not knowledge. It is something beyond knowledge, and that is intelligence. Your question then is, can intelligence operate without knowledge? Obviously it can. It is possible to sit here, not know a word of what I am saying, yet relate fully. And that is intelligence. If knowledge is there, wonderful. Even if knowledge is not there, intelligence is not lame without knowledge. Getting it? So it relates to the life of Swami Ram when he was on one of his overseas tours. I'm not very sure about that though. You may cross check. So at one of the places, in one of the meetings, several in the audience started clamoring. They said, we want liberation, we want liberation. Since so many days you have been talking of liberation. Of what use are the words if we cannot have the real thing? Tell us how we can have liberation, and we want it quickly. So the speaker kept listening, and the audience remained restive. And then after a point he said, fine, settle down all of you. I am giving you liberation right now. Immediately. This moment. How many of you want to be liberated? Come over. And there was conviction and sureness in his words. And you'd have guessed it. How many came forward? Nobody.
Acharya ji, if we are Aham Brahmasmi, then why we need liberation?
You are not Brahma.
But Shankaracharya ji said it.
Shankaracharya said probably for himself. Not for you. Brahm is the highest potentiality of Aham. Brahm is the highest potentiality of Aham. Brahm meaning totality. Aham is the ego. Brahm is not the default state of ego. Kindly get rid of that notion. Look at your ego and look at how it operates. You really want to claim that you are Brahm? Seriously? Looking at all the activities of the Aham throughout the day, you still want to say Aham Brahmasmi? Aham Brahmasmi is something that should be uttered only by the rarest, most refined and realized ones. The common man, if he starts uttering Aham Brahmasmi, just fuels his ego. The common layman ego is now pretending to be something beyond itself. The ego that is always ambitious is now laying its hands even upon Brahma. So stay clear of all these grand statements. This grandiloquence would cost you very dear. We are already liberated. I am Brahma. All are already realized. If you are already realized, why do you suffer so much? You are saying, oh, I am already liberated. An hour back you are sobbing in that corner. Why? Anger and jealousy and all kinds of complexes are what you identify with, and then you say, I am liberated and I am Brahm. What kind of doublespeak is this? It's better to remain humble and honest. No? It's better to admit who we really are. And if we are humble and honest, then there is a possibility that one day the aham will dissolve into the Brahma. It is not exactly so, but approximately you may say aham is a journey whose destination is Brahma. If the journeying one assumes and claims that he is already at the destination, then he will never reach